Hey there, this tutorial is going to show you how to create your podcast recording in your iPad with an app called GarageBand. So you're looking for the app that looks like this little guitar. You can also just scroll for it, search for it by typing in GarageBand. When it click on it and it'll pop up. Now yours will look probably a little different than mine because you don't have any podcasts in there or any musical creations in there. But what you're looking for in the top left hand corner, excuse me, is to a little plus sign where you're going to create new song. Lots of different instruments in here, so one of those might have popped up instead of the microphone, but you're looking for the picture of the microphone that says audio recorder. So we're going to on that, and you'll get something that looks like this, hopefully. And we're going to go ahead and click on that. You'll see that you have a audio recorder that is moving based on, in this case, my voice. At the right, you have some options to enhance your voice, and we're not going to do that now, but you can try that later on when we're setting up for the intro. Before you get started though, a couple of things you want to do. First, go up to the wrench at the top right and click on that where it says metronome sound. Instead of the wood block sound, we're going to go with visual only, which will allow us to not be distracted by the sounds of the metronome. The metronome will still, that's the little blue triangle kind of at the top, that will still show, but it won't be distracting for us via sounds. Also at the top right, there's a little plus sign, and you're going to want to change that to section A. You want to go ahead and make that automatic. Okay, so we're ready to record. Now this is the content of your podcast, so you should have that pretty well scripted out. I'm going to just do a quick little example. And near the top left, there's a funny looking thing that looks sort of like, I call it a graph. It's really not like a graph, but when you click on that, you can it will be replaced with a microphone symbol, and you'll get something that looks like this. This is where you're going to start your recording. The red button is your recorder button to begin. So I'm going to go ahead and make my recording. So this is the first in a series of podcasts on podcasting. Stay tuned for the remaining of them. See you soon. So that was my recording there. And if I again click on the thing at the top, you'll see my recording. Now, I would recommend that you listen to that, decide if you like it, etc. I'm not going to do that for this podcast, but that is something that you'll want to do for the future. Now, we're going to add another track at the bottom left. Okay, we're going to see another track here. We're going to make this the audio recorder track again, but this time we're going to put a little chipmunk voice on that sounds like a little chipmunk, and we'll use this as part of the intro with the music in the background, but we'll just get the recording in here first. So here we go. Podcasting 101. And so as you can see, that would typically be something that would be an introduction to the name of your podcast. And now I have a second audio recording, and you can see that the chipmunk is right there. Now I know that it took me a little while to get started and to stop it. So I can actually click on the recording, and when I click on it, I get some options, and then you have to swipe down. Of course, that didn't work, so. And when you swipe down, it will actually split that recording, and then you can click on the piece that you don't want and you can delete that. So I've got that done now. And I probably would have some editing that I do on the actual audio recording as well. Now you see, all I have to do is put my finger on it and I can actually move this, because I know that I don't want my chipmunk voice going over my recorded voice. However, I do want some music in the background of my chipmunk voice, and so I'm going to go to the little roller coaster loop at the top and have some options to play some intro music. But we're just going to trust that that one sounds okay, and we'll play it later. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that in, and again, I don't want that to be over my whole content, so I'm going to split this, move this here. Hopefully we'll have a chance to hear this and it'll be all right. Normally you would be I would recommend that you'd be listening to this as you go along. And then at the end, we'll put in another audio loop and put this down here at the end. Okay, so now the other thing I want to show you is that you can also moderate the volume. So the volume for the music, I actually want a little bit lower than the volume for the other pieces. So I'm going to just have that in the background. So you can see I moved that way. Okay, so basically that is done. Then you would go to My Songs, which would save it. You would click on My Songs to put a title for it. And that's what we'll do on this one. And then next one, we'll see if we can get some audio to see how it sounded.
Podcasting 101.
So this is the first in a series of podcasts on podcasting. Stay tuned for the remaining of them. See you soon. So now you're going to take your recorded podcast and you're going to push it into a service that will allow others to hear it. I thought we would go to something that's more web-based, and so I'm looking at SoundCloud. I have not played too much with it, but it has been pretty popular, I guess, with others for primarily music, but we'll add our podcast there and see how that goes. So I have already added that app, and you will have to get an account as well. You will look for, in the App Store, you can just go to look for SoundCloud. And so it's this orange one up here. That's what it's going to look like. And once you've added that in, then go make sure that you go ahead and get an account for it. It has an app, but it also has it web-based. So we'll see how that works in just a few. Okay, so now let's go back to GarageBand. And when you open up GarageBand again, you should see that you have the podcast that you created. And you need to go to the top right where it says Select and click on it. And then you're going to go to the share button, the box with the arrow on it, and hopefully you will have the SoundCloud app in there that you can click on. I think I better call this something besides title it. And then you will I have one up there. Okay, then you'll go ahead and share. And it does take a little bit of time depending on how long it is to export it. And then you'll say done. So what we'll want to do next is to make sure that our recording made it out to SoundCloud. And we're going to do that two different ways. One is to look at the app SoundCloud that's on your iPad. It will show there, but it won't give us as much control as going out to the web to make any changes or any additions. So I'm going to click on the SoundCloud app, And I can see, at least from here, it looks like I have two of them that ended up there. So I'm not sure why that happened, but I can click on, I can see that it's there. And so that's the important part. Then we'll go out to the web and look at it from there. So now we'll go ahead and check the web version of SoundCloud and see if our recording is there, which it definitely should be. So we'll need to sign in. Once we've signed in, it will take us to our stream. I see that my podcasts are here. Here's one I had done earlier. Here is my sample one that I just demoed, and I can play it.
Podcasting 101.
So this is the first in a series. I'm not going to play the whole thing since we've heard it before, but just to make sure that it's there. Sounded pretty good. And then we have some options. It does automatically put whatever picture, or if you didn't put one, whatever background you have for your account. And I definitely want to change that because the podcast is not about me. So I'm going to go to the little edit button here, and I'm going to update the image. Now, you could put in any image that was related to your particular content area, or you could create an image, which is what I did. If that is something that you wanted to learn how to do, that is something that we could include for the remaining Web on Wednesday. So you also have the option to retitle this. So I'm going to leave mine the same. The genre is set up to really promote music, so that's where most of the emphasis is, but there's a little bit on audio if something fit for you. And you can add tags, you can describe, and I'd recommend that you do describe your podcast a little bit. You also have an option to make it private or public. Now, if you make it private, you just get a sort of secret link that you would be able to provide to students. If you make it public, obviously anybody can listen to it. So it's up to you what you're going to do with that. So we'll just save the changes so it updates the picture, and then we'd be ready to share it. So we could share by social media or just with a link that you would provide and give to your students. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, let me know, but I would want you to share a podcast episode with me for your MIP.